So, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's been living under the Antichrist. Nobody wants to see that, of course. But we have been. That's how deceived everyone's been. I mean, I've wondered this before. I've wondered this before. I mean, when Jesus said, the wicked one, that Antichrist, and as he said, there's been many that have come, not just one, but that it's more deceptive than anything. I mean, so deceptive that you wouldn't even know you're living under it. I'm saying it because of this. Yes, the Nazis of Copley Square, the forgotten story of the Christian front. So, a little bit about this. On January 13th, 1940, FBI agents burst into the homes and offices of 17 members of the Christian Front, seizing guns, ammunition, and homemade bombs. Oh yeah, that sounds like Christians. I mean, claiming to be, but... J. Edgar Hoover's charges were incendiary. The group, he alleged, was planning to incite a revolution and install a temporary dictatorship in order to stamp out Jewish and communist influence in the United States. Jewish and communist influence. So you see how it's all repeating? You see it? You see it? Candace Owens, Tucker, Marjorie Taylor. You see them? Do you see them? In Nazis of Copley Square, Charles Gallagher provides a crucial missing chapter in the history of the American far right. Yes, far right. But you never know. Just saying, you never know. I haven't had a chance. This guy's far left, okay? But the story is accurate. It's just the author is very far left. So, take that with a grain of salt. Because again, claiming to be one thing. But I'm not saying it's not true. Because this goes back to the Catholic Church. Charles Gallagher provides a crucial missing chapter in the history of the American far right. The men of the Christian Front imagined themselves as crusaders fighting for the spiritual purification of the nation. Okay. And they were hardly alone in their beliefs. The Front traced its origins to vibrant global Catholic theological movements of the early 20th century, such as the mystical body of Christ and Catholic action. The Front's anti-Semitism was inspired by Sunday sermons and by lay leaders openly espousing fascist and Nazi beliefs. So the reason I absolutely believe that to be true is because the Catholic Church, well, they were complicit. I mean, honestly, there were so many people that should have done the right thing that didn't. I mean, sit back and think about it, okay? Jordan Peterson had brought this up back when he was, psychology professor in Alberta or Canada, I forget where in Canada, and he would ask his class, consider that you're living in Nazi Germany. It's not like you can leave, okay? And the only way you can put bread on the table is you got to stand outside the extermination camps. What are you going to do? It's hard, right? If you sit and think about it, you may think your first answer is I would never go along with it, but you have kids. I still don't think I could do. I think I could do it. I think I would rather just say, no, God, I'll leave. This is where I'll surrender to you, and you will find us a way to eat, or you will. But I will not do this. I will not knowingly stand outside the gas chamber, knowing that they're taking innocent people to their death. That's what I think I would do. Before knowing Jesus, I probably would, but after knowing what it means to surrender, it's best just sometimes to surrender, that's what I would do. That said, it was a good point because it made people think because the people couldn't leave. But putting that aside, there were the amount of major corporations and businesses that just went along acting like, oh, see no evil, hear no evil. Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not part of evil. Same thing here. And then this is the reason why everybody likes to say, oh, the Vatican became corrupt after Vatican II because Vatican II came after this. No. The Vatican was corrupt from the day one that it was created. I'm sorry if that upsets Catholics. I'm really sorry. But in none of its history does it show it knows how to act like Jesus. It looks like the Pharisees. It acts like the Pharisees. It does everything Jesus said not to do, and Catholics are okay with it. It didn't want, King James I knew who they were, okay? They tried to blow a king of England up in Parliament. That's why he hunted them down and killed them. Everything in their history sucks, but it gets worse. Of course it does. Of course it gets worse. Because, okay, so most people, you realize that the influence the Vatican has, right? It has massive, it's its own entity, it's its own sovereignty there. Yep, it's its own zip code. It's the reason you can't go after them or do anything to them. Yeah, the more you look into it, the more you're like, boy, this is like the ultimate Antichrist, claiming to be about faith and Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but it goes nowhere. I mean, this is why, of course, I'm silenced, though, too. And you know, you can't say it because, well, it might upset people because we have this religious freedom. Well, I'm not trying to take religious freedom away because that's a mistake, too. But, I mean, the fact is, it's like, let's not, you know, just brush it under the rug here, okay? So, and they have, people know they have mass amounts of influence. They have a seat at the UN. They're not they don't have voting, but they have influence. I mean, that doesn't even matter. They have influence. And their influence is never on the right side of anything. That's just what blows my mind. It just blows my mind. How can you be about Christ and you're supposed to be a representative of Christ and everything you do is the opposite of Christ? Just explain that one to me. The Catholic Church is considered its own nation in the form of the Vatican City State, which is a sovereign city-state and the smallest independent state in the world by both area and population. Established in 1929 by the Lateran Treaty between the Holy See and Italy, the Vatican City serves as the territorial base that guarantees the independence and sovereignty of the Holy See. So here's what I didn't know, is that the Vatican, the Catholic Church, is not only just a spiritual entity, it's a political entity. Yet it gets to claim religious freedoms here. So the thing about this Christian front is it was mostly Irish Catholics. Again, going back to Kennedy, it's like Kennedy gets elected and the gates of hell blew open. Yep, because, well, I don't think God was happy. I think God, that protection lifted for a little bit there. And God said, not having it. Not having it. Kennedy then immediately on day one takes us into the Cuban Missile Crisis, purposely in my opinion, because I, again, don't know how you can F up the Bay of Pigs. Eisenhower set it up. Either do it or don't. But to do it and then not provide air support shows you deliberately effed it up so you could attack the CIA. But then, you know, look at everything that happened after the Kennedys. Yeah, it's like God had turned his back on us for a while. And people were worried about a Catholic president, and the only other president we had that was Catholic was Biden. You know, and that Catholic Church was trying to get into the damn kingships in England. All it's ever wanted is effing power. It doesn't give a shit about Jesus, doesn't give a shit about spirituality or saving anything. And they only ever own up to anything when they absolutely have to. That shows me right there they're not about being Christ-like. Because you shouldn't have to be cornered in order to come out and say, you know what, you should have felt bad and wrong. Yeah. After decades of ambivalence, documents prepared by clergy says hundreds of priests gave spiritual guidance to Hitler. Yeah. and on and on. Catholic Church in France to atone for silence in Nazi years.